cool. Well, hello. I think we're live, everyone. Hi there.
Hi.
Welcome to yet another Make Issue Release Hangout Party International Meetup. Today we are excited to announce the almost release of Volume 36, all about boards, although there's more than boards in there.
Yeah.
So let's just introduce everyone very quickly. I'm Stead Holbrook, a senior editor at Make Magazine.
And I'm Goli Mohammadi. I'm also senior editor.
Out there, spread far and wide, we have Matt Richardson.
Hello.
Hi, Matt.
Contributing editor, Nick Raymond, project engineer.
Hey, everybody.
Technical editor, Sean Reagan from Austin, Texas.
Hello, y'all.
And special guest, Taylor Miller. And I don't know where you're calling in from. Where are you?
Based out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Hi.
Okay.
We have the whole country covered because Matt's from New York, so we're going coast to coast here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're super excited about our brand new issue. The theme of this issue is boards, microcontroller boards in specific. Just like the changing landscape of 3D printing, every day there's new 3D printers coming out, and that's why we had done that issue. We were seeing a huge flurry of brand new boards coming out, and we wanted to address this and help you navigate this new landscape and try to figure out exactly which board is right for you. It's not like a topic where you can come in off the bat and say, what's the best board out there, because it really depends on what kind of project you're trying to do. And so we tried to decipher and break down, depending on what kind of project you're doing, what board you could select from there. So we have a really nice special section that's specifically on all the different kinds of boards. And then in addition to that, we have a number of wide variety of different projects that we have, including a desktop foundry, capstan kite winder, we have shrink film gaming minis from Sean, we have a 2-hour wooden table, a table that you can make in 2 hours, vinyl silk screen printing, light bright LED clock, hedge maze area rug. So as you can see, it really runs the gamut from electronics to really hands-on wood.
Don't we actually have a nuclear reactor in this one too?
You know, we do have a nuclear reactor in this one. As a matter of fact, we are in a moment going to have the maker of the nuclear reactor on here. Sean does a lot of work with our special section in our projects. Sean, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, yeah. So the special section for this issue is microcontrollers and boards, which is the term we're using for them. Of course, you know, microcontroller is not anything new, and the idea of a development board, you know, a microcontroller on a board, is not anything new for like an electrical engineer who's developing like a product or maybe a one-off system. But what is new and what kind of is in our space is the idea that these development boards are becoming accessible to people that are not specialists, right? And although these things have been accessible among hobbyists for a long time, it was really kind of with Arduino starting in about 2005 that they really sort of started to break out of just electronics hobbyists and just specialists and try to become more available to sort of everyday folks. And since the Arduino explosion, we've had Raspberry Pi, and since that, we've had this just incredible ecosystem of, again, not just development boards for engineers, but development boards targeted at like more everyday people that just use a desktop computer. Well, I'm using a desktop computer for this problem. I'm using this board, this single board computer, this microcontroller board, to solve some maybe more physical problem. And that's kind of where our guide comes in.
Sean, and to Matt too. I mean, there are quite a number of boards here. I forget what the exact number is, but certainly we didn't include every board out there, and there are new boards coming onto the market every day. But maybe talk about, you know, how you selected these boards. What were you trying to go for, and sort of the range here? And are you also seeing kind of what I see in 3D printing to some extent is a lot of Me Too products? You know, just another product, another board on the market. So how did you pick and choose what to include?
Yeah, that was the real challenge. Was that, again, this is an old market, development boards, and of course it's bigger, it's older, and it's much bigger than 3D printers. And you guys know from our experience with our 3D printer issue that even that relatively newer, smaller market, it's hard to get your brain around a market like that. And with boards, the criterion we kind of used was boards, again, that were not so much the product of or targeted for engineers or specialists, but more for general makers and hobbyists, and even not just like electronics hobbyists or people who read nuts and bolts, but more even like general and accessible than that, right?
And I imagine, the question, people want to know right away is, well, what's the best one? And
Sure. Yeah.
And what you said is, well, what are you making? It depends. There is no best one. But Matt, maybe you can talk about, some of the, I don't know, exemplars of different categories or for different applications.
Yeah, absolutely. I get the question a lot. Like, is when Raspberry Pi came onto the scene, they said, "Oh, that's a better Arduino, right?" And the question is, no, it's different. It does a different thing. It has different functionalities, and it has to be looked at in a totally different category. And lots of these boards kind of fall into their own different categories, and they're meant for different purposes. So when I'm looking at boards and I'm making a decision, I'm looking at, first of all, does it have the functionality I need? And then the second most important thing is there the community of support around it? Because that's a critical part that sometimes is overlooked. You can kind of get hung up by looking at the specifications of a board and says, oh, look at all these I/O pins and look at all the speed of the processor and how much RAM it has. This is great. This is great. This is what I want. But then when you get it, if you can't boot it up or you can't figure out how to update the software or you can't even get something to run on it, it's no good. So I am absolutely doing searches and looking around and seeing, like, well, what are people doing with it? The toolkits that I use for development, are people using those on this platform? That's a critical part of it, is what kind of support is out there and available for the board. And that's something we also look at as well.
Yeah, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel with every problem you've got, right? All you have to do is punch it into Google and somebody else has already solved that problem for your system. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, and we definitely invite readers to check it out. I mean, this is sort of the ultimate service piece. We did a lot of the legwork for you, helping you dial it in. So, well, we have a lot of ground to cover. Maybe just one more question on boards. This is to either of you, Sean or Matt. You went into this very knowledgeable about the landscape, the ecosystem, as we like to call it. What did you learn coming out the other side?
I still have so many boards to try out. That's the thing. Like I've focused my time mostly on a couple different boards. It's like each one is its own rabbit hole that you can go down, and you only have so much time. And I was looking through and I was looking at the work that Alistair did he summed up a lot of great boards, and there were boards that I didn't even know about that I want to try. And so I'm going to put some orders in maybe in a week or two and give them a try and explore around. There's no way I can try all of these boards because there are so many out there. But I think when you get a couple in your tool chest and you know that this one's good for that and that one's good for this, it's nice to have kind of a wide variety. And I think I see a couple good highlights in the issue that Alistair brings forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's too bad Alistair couldn't be on this call because he had some interesting things to say about this. I think the one lesson that I took away is how really easy it is to make a board. Like going into it, like a printed circuit board that you would buy like an Arduino. It seems like it doesn't seem like something you could make yourself, but honestly, so much of the manufacturing process for those has been automated that, like, if you know how to use the software, it's really not that hard to develop your own board, which is one of the reasons there are so many of them out there. And we actually, speaking of, the skill builder in this issue is actually about how to use Eagle to design your own board, and we actually walk you through the process of building designing a simple Arduino clone in Eagle, and that's something to check out.
I can't wait to try that. That looks great.
I'm really stoked about that one. That was, Sean Wallace did a great job with that.
yeah, so we invite make readers and folks who are listening to send us your boards. If you design something, come up with something.
Absolutely.
This is going to live online. We're going to add to it. We're creating, the field guide to microcontrollers, and it's a living, breathing project. So it is not frozen in time at all. Very cool. Thanks, guys. Well, it being very close to Halloween, we thought we'd kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about a super cool Halloween project. So I'm going to pass things to my colleague Nick Raymond, who is going to introduce this next segment.
Thanks. So, I was just gonna say, a while back we did a toolbox review in Make Volume 35. It was the Hauntbox prop controller, and so it's essentially down here. Let me move you out of the way. See that? Microcontroller for a sort of like a haunted Halloween house, sort of like all in one. You know, the best of both worlds. Have Arduino compatibility with I/O pins, how to control it, add programs with your phone and connect that way. And so Make Labs has been working and is still working right now actually to finish up a project that we're bringing you. So maybe we'll give them some more time and then show that towards the end, little teaser. But we've actually been using the board in-house to do a haunted project for you guys today.
That's awesome, and we have the maker of the Haunt Box here with us. Taylor is here to talk to us a little bit about. Taylor, could you tell us a little bit about, first of all, I'd love to know, what's your day job that would lead you to creating a Haunt Box controller? Are you an avid Halloween enthusiast, obviously? But what is your day job and what led you to create this? And then if you could lead into giving us an example of the raddest implementation that you've used this for, because I know you can put 6 inputs in it, correct? You can control 6 different things with it.
Yes.
And then, so give us an example. So tell us where you came from, and then give us an example of what you've done with it.
Sure, yeah. So I have a kind of long small business IT background, web programming, that kind of thing. Now I'm actually in healthcare, so I make people feel better in the daytime. So a buddy
scare 'em at night.
Exactly. But a buddy of mine has been doing a home haunt for many years, and just so frustrated. So we wanted to do all these interactive features, and at the time it was he was actually etching his own boards in his bathtub, doing hardware to control the different zones and this and that, and it kind of came across the Arduino, and I'm thinking, hey, we should try this in software. Let's do this, and this grew and grew and grew, and we realized, you know what, if there's folks like us that want to be able to make really interesting and easy interactive environments, but they don't want to learn to program or burn your own boards, let's make something for them. So let's make a really simple kind of web interface, and just make it so we're trying to bring the power of microcontrollers down to people who just want to play and not write code.
And judging from the review that it got in the magazine, you did a great job of that too, because I know Sam is the lead of our lab, is the one who reviewed that, and he just couldn't say enough about it. He's like, it just makes everything so easy to plug everything in.
Yes. And of course, for the hackers, because I consider myself an avid hacker, we've got all the extra I/O is broken out. It's Shield compatible. We've got extra stuff in there for the future. So we're pretty stoked about that. But in terms of exciting projects, we've got one of our customers in France is designing apparently a robotic fountain that's going to be controlled by this. I can't wait to see that.
Wow.
We've got some customers in Utah who are building a 40-acre haunted theme park, and they are just barely starting this process, and they've got a couple of haunt boxes, and they're working on some.
Are they going to be done for this Halloween?
No. This is next year, but they're doing a small launch this year. So we're pretty stoked about that. We've got a funny little thing here. Let's see if this will work. I better put on the situation here. So it just makes it really easy. If you've got a wild idea.
Nice. What's happening back there? Terrifying.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So if you've got a.
That's pretty awesome.
If you've got a wild idea, that's just a painter's tarp and some, flashing LEDs and a little blower. I hooked that up in about 10 minutes and just made a quick program. You can just do great, fun things really quickly.
What do you have set up for your house for Halloween this year? I mean, it looks like I don't know if you're at work or in an office, but do you have something out front right now?
So that's very much a work in progress. To give you some idea, last year we had a fully modular maze that was interchangeable. There were trapdoors. There were all sorts of tricks. But this year's still very much in process.
So I imagine your house is a pretty popular stop in the neighborhood.
It's a good one. We've had a lot of success.
How
Nice.
far in advance of Halloween do you get started on doing your haunted house props?
The day after Halloween.
And you're working right up till.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That makes Christmas kind of interesting, I would bet, at your house.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming to your house for Christmas.
So, what kind of features on board make a microcontroller sort of more suitable for haunted house use than, say, just an Arduino or something I might pick up?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So, one of the main features that we were frustrated with just a stock Arduino, which, trust me, we love, is that the power that comes off them, you can really only get 30 or 40 milliamps reliably off it, and that's just not enough to power much. So on our board, we've got some pretty awesome power circuitry. The outputs can do up to 300 milliamps each. That's enough to drive
Wow, and they're 6?
giant relays or power tails or who knows what, all sorts of stuff. So you just plug that in like you're wiring a sprinkler box. We've got nice little screw terminals that you pop in there, and it just makes it really slick and powerful.
That's great. Are there relays on the board?
Not on the board, no.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Now, do you sell this as a kit? Do you have the plans out there? How can people get their own haunt box?
Absolutely. So as a passionate open source user for many years, it's totally thrilling to be on the other side of that. We've published all our code. The schematics are being published. The person can go to hauntbox.net, and we've got a little online store there where you can order haunt boxes. We've also got a smaller module that's specifically designed for sounds, triggered sounds. It works well with it. But yeah, we have a lot of fun.
So Goalie and Stet, I think we're getting ready. Maybe I'll have Sam and Dan come on real quick, if that's good.
So now we're going to see your haunt box in action.
Yeah, so let me bring on Sam and Dan, and they can talk about it, and then we'll kind of switch gears.
Thanks, Nick.
Pull the giant lever.
Works for me.
It's exciting.
What's
What's
going?
happen? Oh my God, it's a mad scientist.
Where's your propeller beanie, Sam?
Please.
Hello, Dan.
Goggles and
Here's
everything.
Dan, the
Hello.
maker of our
How's it going?
nuclear fuser as well. We're going to get him to talk a little bit about creating a nuclear fuser for everyone
Yeah.
in a moment. But show us what you got, because we are dying of anticipation over here.
Okay. I think we're going to move the camera. All right. Let's do a magic camera.
Ooh.
I got one
Whoa!
of these.
That's a fire.
Wait, that was in the office all day?
Do you have any idea what goes on in the office stuff, Attack?
I have no idea what's going on in that box, actually.
I see flames and smoke.
Set off the smoke
It's supposed to be doing that, right? The smoke.
Yes.
Yeah,
Most of it, yeah. So our project, this is our monster in a box or your creature in a crate project. It's unfortunately not finished, but we will be finishing it within the next consecutive days.
It gets even more awesome.
It gets
than
even
this.
more awesome. So all right now what we're seeing right here is there's a red light filling the insides of the box, and we also have a strobe as well as a fog machine creating smoke. You can turn that off, by the way.
Well, yeah, but why would I want to?
Yeah, you see the
That's got to be hot.
glowing portal inside of our box.
Well,
like that Japanese robot cartoon.
Yeah.
You built that enclosure, right, Dan?
Yeah, so I actually used old pallets. It's a little bit of recycling going on here. Plus
Yeah.
they're free, and they're already pre-aged, so they look really gnarly and kind of gross,
I
which
heard
is
the chop
awesome.
saws yesterday.
Yes.
Dan, is it a creep show? Is it one of the creep show movies? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, there was a monster in a box. In
Under the stairs from the Anarchy expedition. From
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So glad that we know.
So when the project is finished, the lid is actually going to rattle up and down. We're going to have chains on top of it, and then we're going to have pneumatic cylinders firing off underneath it that'll cause the whole box to bounce and jump and lurch and stuff like that. So, and this will all be controlled by the haunt box.
You could save all the trick-or-treating candy for yourself if you put that outside your door. Like, nobody came. I don't know. That is awesome.
Buy some, I mean.
Yeah, that's what I always do. I always wait till after Halloween, and then I buy all the discount candy.
There you go. So we're not doing this for ourselves. We're doing this for the terrified looks on the children's faces.
Yes.
And for the record, I want to say I really appreciate you showing a project that's not actually complete, because celebrating celebrate that.
Really?
We do. I
A
mean, why does
big
everything have to
project
be
that
perfect?
still has a few kinks to work out?
No, that's awesome. It's a work in progress. Like that. We need more of that. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever finished a project.
Yes. What's the
They're
saying?
never done.
Only
Yeah.
abandoned. To paraphrase. Yeah.
Dan, can you take a few minutes to tell us about your nuclear fuser project? I mean, it's pretty revolutionary that you came up with and wrote up a step-by-step tutorial so that anyone out there who wants to can create their own nuclear fuser. And I wish that we had it. I mean, I know it's downstairs right now, so you can't see the camera
At about
there.
1,000 pounds.
It's very impressive looking as well. But on or off, yeah, it looks really sci-fi. So can you tell us what was your inspiration for creating it, and any other things you want to throw in there about your R&D process?
So this is the one that we show you how to make in the magazine. This is our little mini fuser. Ta-da! And unfortunately, the inspiration for making this was pure jealousy, because I'm a subscriber to Popular Science, and in the back of one of my Popular Science, there was an article about a young teenager who built a nuclear fuser in his garage. So I was like, I can do that. I should be in that article. So
Lo and behold.
I did the research, and lo and behold, I did. And then I also published an article on how to make your own, too. So.
That's awesome.
So this is only a demo fuser. Sorry to get your hopes up out there. But it still creates a really cool plasma display, and it teaches you about the science of fusion and nuclear physics and all that kind of stuff like that, which is a really interesting field of study, as well as it kind of introduces you into vacuum technology and high voltage technology, which you can use for a lot of other really cool, interesting projects. Spoiler, we may be doing a homemade CO2 laser, so look forward to that.
And there is a community of like hobbyists and garage.
There is. If you go to
future.net,
future.net, it's this huge online community, and that's where I got a lot of my research and resources for how to build this. It's just a huge forum where you can ask kind of almost any question, and there's hundreds of people, qualified people, more qualified than me, that'll answer your questions and then some.
Yeah, and if you have a source of deuterium gas and you feed one of these things deuterium gas, you can build a machine that fuses deuterium in your garage.
Fusion, yes.
That is excellent. And Dan, one more question. What is your official title at Make? Because I love the fact that we have our own resident
head fabricator.
Fabricator.
Yeah, the interns are my assistants.
There you go. The interns are everybody's assistant.
Yeah, for folks out there who don't know, we actually have, our offices, have the normal office type facilities, but we also have a full-on lab in our office space where we have a series of interns who are led up by Sam here, who is who coordinates all this, but they actually build the projects to ensure that they work properly, and they help us troubleshoot any technical issues that we could have with it in advance. And then we have Dan, who fabricates amazing things like nuclear fusers for us on this
Yeah.
It is a great lab with machine tools, table saws, right down the hall from our editorial office. It's very loud.
A million 3D printers.
Yes, it's very
And
loud.
as great as that lab is, we should give a shout out to where we are right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Arts is a new makerspace here in Make's hometown of Sebastopol, California. You kind of see stuff and machinery and all kinds of implements behind us. So it's not fully at cruising speed in terms of all its classes and everything, but just one of many great makerspaces around, and we're very fortunate that they host us in this kind of hangar-like space. So thanks to Chimera.
It's such a wonderful thing, too, because it's like we get to meet more makers in our own community that we wouldn't have met before through this makerspace, and it's just awesome that a group of makers that we didn't necessarily know off the bat got together and created this awesome space, and now we get to meet even more makers through it. It's the beauty of makerspaces, of course.
Since I'm not in the Bay Area, can you remind me who on our network is through Chimera that we've featured in the issue, or who's through Chimera? Who do we know? Like, is it Nemo Gould Space, or who do we know that's there that I would know of?
I mean, it's a dedicated crew of Sonoma County folks. Dana Woodman is leading the charge, and we're trying to work with him to try to get him to document what processes he's gone through to open this makerspace in hopes that it could help other people out there who are interested in starting their own makerspaces. He's been documenting all along the way, like his funding that he's done and just the creation of the space and getting the people together. So just completely unrelated, you know, to our makeosphere, but now is in our makeosphere, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, love it.
Cool.
And Nick, did you have a couple final words about boards before we?
We did actually. I think hopefully Matt can help me out here, but Arduino recently released 2 new boards. Matt just blogged about them recently. But exciting news for Make is that the Galileo.
This is the Galileo.
Sweet.
So we have sort of like an event going on at Make where if you get one of the Galileos and you build a project and you document it and you send it to us, we'll go ahead and display that at the Bay Area Maker Faire this year in 2014. So more information about the project can be found online. But yeah, Matt, what are some of the features?
Where can they go to find more information about that?
Yeah, that'd be helpful, wouldn't it? It'd be maker.intel.com. And Matt, Matt, what are some of the features of the Galileo that make it so great?
I've been using it now for a couple weeks. I think the best feature of the Galileo is its very, very, very strong Arduino compatibility. We've seen a few boards out there that have Arduino compatibility and have a little bit of like a Linux side built into it. I have found that this works really well with the Arduino environment. All the code that I've written, most of it can just upload right to the board and it'll just work. So if you have Arduino code written, or if you've got libraries that you want to use already, a lot of it can just go on here, and you can use your Arduino shields. There's some testing that still needs to be done. Some libraries still need a little bit of tweaking and need some updating, but I found this to be, I was actually pretty surprised at how much I could get done right out of the box by plugging it in and using a custom version of the Arduino IDE, which is pretty much what we're all familiar with these days anyway.
And this board was just released in Rome, correct? Maker Faire Rome?
That's right. Yeah, it was announced in
Italy. So there's some new technology for y'all.
Yeah, so document your projects, keep us posted, and let us know what you guys are building.
Am I eligible for this contest?
Probably not.
No,
Please, not so much.
No, neither you nor I. All right.
Come on, Matt. You know you could be eligible for the contest.
Well, I'll encourage my friends.
Any project that you build.
I'll lend out my board so that my friends can apply.
There you go.
Very well.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Nick, do you have something else?
Well, Matt, are you writing something currently?
Well, I just finished writing Getting Started with BeagleBone. That's out. That's off to the press. And you can order it and get it now, which is great. So if you're interested in BeagleBone, I just got this copy yesterday, so that's really exciting for me.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Nice.
Congrats, Matt.
Thank you.
Good one.
Yeah, excellent.
All right. Well, cheers, everyone. Just one final reminder while we're all about boards right now and the release of this new issue. In just a few short days, November 14th, we are going to release our second annual, I can call it annual, 3D printing special issue. It's a larger format magazine, and we did it last year. It was a big success. I think really kind of opened people's eyes to the potential in this growing field, and so we're going to do it again.
Yeah, and we increased the number of printers that we tested this year over last year. I mean, there's new printers coming out all the time. So it's the Make Ultimate Guide to 3D Printing, and we tested 23 printers this year as opposed to last year we did 15.
15, yeah.
Right, and some great results, some really cool feedback, and some amazing information for you that'll be coming out in about a month. And so we have another hangout for that, like Steph said, on November 14th. You should come join us again and learn more about it.
We'll be back right here probably, so hope to see all of you all again.
Yeah, thank you for our guests for hanging out with us, and thanks for everyone out there for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great day, all.
Thanks, Dad.
Bye, guys.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Yeah.
Nice to see y'all.